All right, so we're now in the create section of our compass challenge. Every time we come into the create section, it's really, really wise to make sure we figure out, okay, how does this thing work first? Just jumping in always isn't the right step, especially when we're doing something new. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our microbit and we're going to try and figure out how the compass actually works. So let's go into our make code here. So I'm going to come over here. I've got my make code load up, and I'm going to call this compass. And because this is for you guys, I am going to call this compass demo. Beautiful. Now, I want to introduce you to one of the most important tools that you have within make code. If we come up here to the top and we click this what's it called? Question mark in the top corner. In here, we've got a support page and a reference page. This is kind of like a forum. This here is the official documentation for microbit. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go in here. I'm going to go down to my input section of here. And I'm going to scroll down, and you can see here are all the items that are inside this input menu. So you can see here I've got this compass setting or compass heading as an input. So let's go read about that here quick. So I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to hide my overlay for a second. So find which direction on a compass the microbit is facing. The microbit measures the compass heading from 0 to 359 degrees with its magnetometer chip. So that's this chip right here on the microbit. That's the magnetometer chip. That's how it measures it. Okay? So here it is here. It says it's going to give us a number from 0 to 359 degrees. What's significant about 359 degrees? Well, how many degrees are in a circle? We've got 360. So there's 1 degree plus 359, that's 360. So it's going to give us an actual degree of the compass, and that's important, as we'll find out here in a second. So here's a piece of example program from them. This program finds the compass heading and stores it in the degrees variable. Okay? Here's a compass. Oh, here's even an example code. This is really similar to what we're going to create here. Now, it says every time you start to use the compass, for example, when you've just turned the microbit on, the microbit will start a Calibrate Compass. Calibration step will ask you to draw a pattern on the screen by tilting the microbit. Okay? It says if you are calibrating or using the compass near metal, it might confuse the microbit. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do just this. We're going to do this Calibrate Compass thing here. So we're going to use that AB to do that. So let's just slide that off to the side there. And let's go ahead and let's start coding this. Let's start coding this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here with this on start. As always, I like showing something just so I know that I've got my code in there. I like it having to wait for like half a second. And then I like clearing the screen. You don't have to do this on everyone. That's just for me. I like having something where I know what I've put on the microbit. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go two things. We're going to get this working. If you look at our instructions here, we're going to get this working first with a serial monitor. So we're going to get it connected to the computer so we can see the values. So let's start building that. First things first, let's go on button, and we're going to go on button AB. What we're going to do is we're coming here, we'll search compass, and we've got this Calibrate Compass thing. So let's just triple check that that looks the same as that code that I've got in here. Button A, compass heading. Let's go down to the bottom. Perfect. That's exactly what I think I should see. Excellent. So on AB, we're going to calibrate compass. And what we're going to do is in here, we're going to create a new variable, and we're going to store that compass value. So we're going to call this degrees, because we are receiving our information from our compass in degrees. Okay? And what we're going to do is we are going to set our degrees forever to, and we'll go to input, and we'll go compass heading, to our compass heading. That's what we're going to do forever here. So let's go ahead and let's get this connected into my microbit. So first thing I want to point out, you can see at the top that now this thing becomes a degrees locator. Okay, so we'll see that in just a second. But what we're going to do, the last thing I want to do before I copy this over is I want to set this up to send information back to my computer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to search this cereal. Okay, not cereal as in like the cereal you eat, but cereal with an S. And what we're going to do is we are going to, there's one more place you can find it. You can come down here to the advanced and come down here to the serial. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to put into the forever is we're going to serial write the value, we'll call this degrees, as equal to whatever our degrees value is. So whatever our degrees value gets, we're going to write that back to our computer. So it'll look something like this. We'll show the console here, okay? And what it's going to do is it's going to say degrees is 90. And as that changes, you'll see it's going to write a graph for us, and it is going to put that in there. So let's see if we can get this working on our microbit. Exactly. There's my compass demo. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download that. I'm going to plug in my microbit. Now you're going to hear this microbit go because it is still running the out-of-box experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. Oh, no, this guy's on maintenance here. What I'm going to do, let's just see if this works. If it's on maintenance, I think this guy was getting its whatchamacallit, updated, its firmware. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it onto the maintenance. I'm just going to see what happens here when I drag this on here. You can see as I drag it on, the microbit was flashing here on the back to show me that it was copying over. So let's just see what happens here. Looks like that one didn't work. I'm just going to grab another microbit here. So just hang tight for 1 second. Grab another microbit so we can see what happens actually in maintenance mode. Running. I'm going to grab a V1 here. Not that it makes much of a difference. Both of them should work identical. I assume you can still hear me. Boom. V1 microbit. All right, let's try this one here. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to plug it in. Just like so. Okay, I'm going to come over to my computer here. I'm going to take my hex file and I'm going to drag it on top of the microbit. You can see here it is copying over because that light is flashing. Okay, let's see what happens here. Still says copying. There we go. That worked. So the first time we bring this up here, it's going to show us this tilt to fill. So this is our compass camera fill screen. So this is our compass calibration. So you can see I've got this flashing dot in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt it. And you can see that as I tilt it, you can see the flashing light where it is. I'm going to fill up the entire screen. This is how we calibrate the compass. So you'll have to do this at the beginning when you first start. And you'll have to do this at the beginning when you first start. And you'll have to do this when you press that AB. So I'm going to fill, so all of those lights are flashing. Let's just see, once it's done, of course I got the microbit that doesn't have a button. My bad. Okay, so now that should be okay for us. The compass should be calibrated. So let's come back to our screen here. Okay, and let's do a couple things here. So notice we don't see any console here. So what I'm going to do is I've got to pair this, and I know why it's not doing that. To pair this, you need to be in Chrome, okay? So I'm going to publish this project. I'm going to copy that code. I'm going to come over here to Chrome, and I'm going to paste that in there. That's going to take me in there. Now I can edit the code. Remember when we talked about publishing? This is the important part of publishing. So now that I'm here, I can come down to this three-dot menu, and I can click Connect Device. It says make sure that it's plugged in, and then it says pair your microbit to your computer by selecting that. So it's going to come here. Now it says there's no compatible device. There's a bunch of reasons why I think this is happening on my computer. So let me just get rid of this. All right, I'm back. I figured it out. So it was just something funny with my computer. I can help you troubleshoot there. So here's what I've done. let's just recap. I've set my degrees to the compass heading. I've set a Calibrate Compass on A and B. And I've said serial write the value degrees to be equal to whatever this variable is. So when you pair your microbit, you come down here. I'm just going to I'm going to leave it connected for now. Follow the instructions here, go connect. It'll pop up here in the top corner of Chrome and connect it to that microbit. So I've copied it over, and you can see here I'm running a calibration right now on here. So like I said, if you are calibrating for the first time, this is what you do. You fill up all the squares by tilting. Try and keep it away from the middle. Perfect. That should be good there. So it should be calibrated here. That's going to disappear in just a second. Smiles and launches your program. So now we don't see anything on here because we haven't programmed anything here to be our nothing on the screen yet. But what we do have is we have this show console here on our device. And what that's going to bring up is that's going to bring up a constant stream of information from your microbit and this little graph. So now what I want you to do, you can sort of watch in the bottom corner of the screen here. Now what I want you to do is I want you to experiment with rotating. So I want you to watch this. When I rotate it, you can see that graph respond. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to rotate it to the right. Notice how that number is getting larger and larger and larger. So that's 225, roughly 250, up to 345. And then it drops down to that 0 and starts again. So this is our value from 0 all the way up to 160. Now notice there's those little spikes in here, but that's okay. We can see as we rotate the microbit, we get bigger, bigger, all the way down to 0. So see if you can get that going on there. So that's how the serial monitor works, and it's really powerful as far as getting information from our microbit back to our computer. So I'm going to click the Go Back button here. Let's go back to our wiki. Okay? It says record the values you see on the serial monitor on your worksheet. So let's jump over to our worksheet here. So what's the range of values? Lowest number and the highest number. Well, we know from reading that we go from 0 to 360 degrees. So now we need to think, what values do you think are associated with each number set? For example, what do you think 0 represents as far as directions go? So we can kind of do a little bit. I am facing roughly east here in the classroom. And so let's just go all the way up to north where it's about 0 degrees. Roughly north. Let's go right about here. Right about here is north. So that's roughly 0 or 360 degrees. Okay? Same thing on a circle. So I'm going to say that is north. So I'm going to go back here so that's not streaming information constantly. We'll go back here. 0 is roughly north, which means that if we add 90 degrees to that, that is going to be east. 180 should be south. And 180 plus 90, 270, oops. And 270 should be roughly west, okay? So those are like rough values of what they should be. So we've entered in both of those. So now what we've got to do is we've got to program these in there. So I'm going to pause the video, and then you're going to see in this next section how we tell our microbit to display north, south, west, and east for each direction.